Let's get ready to rumble! It is the last Raw, guys, before the Royal Rumble. But the big question is, did this episode of WWE Raw deliver? Or was it the same as it usually is every single week? And that is utter dog shit. Well, we're about to find out, guys, because this is your Raw review from the 24th. Yes, 24th. Can't believe we're almost through January already, man. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. But it is the 24th of January Raw review, and we kick it off, guys, straight away with the anticipated final showdown between Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. And it's not going to be... Initially, there was a contract signing supposedly rumoured. We didn't get that. We got a weigh-in. And I tell you what, guys, I enjoyed this. I liked the weigh-in. We've seen far too many boring contract signings. We know how they end. You've seen one, you've seen them all, but this was different. I liked this. So Bobby Lashley comes out first. The Almighty. He's wearing like jogging pants. He's got like a wee black zipper on that he takes off later. Then Lesnar makes his way into the ring, looking like a fucking cowboy. He's got the jeans, the cowboy boots on. He's got like a checkered shirt, the cowboy hat. Makes his way into the ring. Bobby Lashley is going to be first to step up to the scales, but before he does, Corey Graves says to Brock, "Doesn't look like you're dressed appropriately for a weigh-in, Brock. You haven't got the right clothes on, Brock, for a weigh-in." And Brock turns around and says to Corey Graves, who was looking extra noncy, by the way. Corey Graves, pure looking like he had like a porn star tash on. It was weird. Brock Lesnar turns and says to him, "Well, do you want me to take my clothes off for you, Mr. Graves?" Because he called him Mr. Lesnar. And that was pretty funny. Then Lashley jumps on the scales, weighs in at 273. MVP then puts Lashley over, says he's 273 pounds of wrecking machine, solid muscle. And at the Royal Rumble, he's going to be adding a little bit more weight, and that weight is going to be the exact same amount that WWE Championship weighs. Then Brock Lesnar, it's his turn to go on the scale. Graves again interrupts, says, "Brock, you might want to take some of those clothes off." Brock then lifts his cowboy hat off, tells Heyman to hold it, and Brock weighs in at 285 pounds. So outweighing Bobby Lashley. Brock jumps off the scales. This doesn't make Bobby Lashley very happy. Bobby Lashley goes on to say that Brock Lesnar isn't taking this serious. He's laughing, he's joking around because he knows when he gets to the Royal Rumble, Bobby Lashley is going to take that WWE title from him, and it's going to be the shortest title reign in his history. And Brock says, "Well, who's the comedian now, Bobby?" And then he goes into like a Paul Heyman kind of, rant where he goes, "The headlines, hot off the press, are going to read, Bobby Lashley defeats Brock Lesnar by the Hurt Lock." And Heyman's like, "What?" And Brock Lesnar goes on to say, "And your new reigning, defending WWE champion, Bobby who?" And he walks off, and again, Brock, with an insult, walks off. And that's how this segment ends. I like this. I thought this was very good. I thought MVP was good on the mic. I thought Lashley did his good on the mic. Heyman didn't really say anything. He didn't really say much. And I was glad, because I want to hear Brock Lesnar on the mic. We've heard everything Heyman's got to say. Right? We don't need to hear Heyman anymore. We need to hear Brock. And Brock's actually good on the mic. I don't understand why the people think Brock's crap on the mic. Perhaps he didn't stand out back in the Ruthless Aggression era because, they had so many good talkers back then. But now, in an era where barely anyone can cut a promo, Brock Lesnar is one of your best guys. So we need to get him on the mic as much as possible. And definitely loved it. But what I've got to say, what I didn't like about it, it was a little bit short. And once again, it was one and done. As soon as this was over, you didn't see Brock again, and you didn't see Lashley. And to me, that's a bit shit. I think if this is going to be a one and done, it should at least be the main event. And I just don't see why it can't be. If it's going to be in the main event, why can't it be, put throughout the show where maybe the start you see Bobby Lashley, maybe the end of hour one you see Lesnar, and I don't know, they could just be doing stuff, preparing, I don't know, exercising, training, fuck knows, do something. Don't just have them come out in the opening 15 minutes and then you don't see them again. It just doesn't make any sense. It would be like Austin back in the day coming out, you know, get cut in a half-decent promo for 10 minutes and then pissing off and you don't see him for the rest of the show. He was always, like, intervened throughout the show. He was always, like, mixed in. And I think that's what they need to go back to doing, because this was good. But, like I said, my problem is not enough of it. It's a 3-hour show. Come on. It's not like you're short of time here. There's definitely enough time to have these guys on multiple segments in the show. But we didn't get it. But what we did get, I enjoyed. And it was good. I can't lie and say it wasn't. Speaking of what wasn't good, up next with Bianca Belair versus Queen Selina. I hate now how everybody who wins the King or Queen of the Ring has to be given a King or Queen gimmick. It is lame. I mean, it worked with Booker T. King Booker worked. I can understand William Regal going with the King gimmick, but a lot of people just do not suit this King. I mean, Austin, could you imagine if they went with King Austin and Austin came out dressed like a fucking jackass? I mean, that would have killed the Attitude Era. WCW would have won, for God's sake. You don't need to put this fucking royalty gimmick on everybody that wins a King or Queen of the Ring tournament. And Queen Selina, she's not a queen. Doesn't look like a queen. Isn't acting like a queen. Who cares if she comes out with some gown on and tries to put on a posher accent? It just sucks. It really fucking does suck. So, I mean, whatever. This match was shit. Bianca Belair won. They're trying to gain her momentum going into the Rumble. She's got no momentum. I mean, she won the Rumble a year ago, and where did she go from that? I mean, alright, won the title, lost it, and now she's back to where she was. I think you could actually make a decent case that Bianca Belair was actually had more momentum last year before she won the Rumble. Since then, she's won the Rumble, main event at WrestleMania Night 1, you know, had a pretty long title reign, and, you know, and what? She's fucking nowhere. Her character hasn't progressed. Her status hasn't really progressed. If anything, it's degressed. So it's just lame. At least she's not doing the bestest, the fastest, the strongest every single week like she used to. But Bianca Belair, not a lot's going right for her. The push has derailed, in my opinion, like a runaway train. It has crashed off the tracks. We had Damian Priest versus Kevin Owens up next. United States title match. Kevin Owens put on a decent show in here. Priest is alright too. It was a decent match, but the ending again comes with Priest getting DQ'd. So Owens wins, but it's another dodgy win, and he doesn't win the title. So I mean, it is what it is. It was an alright match. I'm not gonna lie here and say it was crap or it was great. It was just alright. It was alright. Speaking of alright, the next thing was certainly not alright. Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, and Dana Brooke versus Carmella, Nikki Ash, and Tamina Snuka. Just, you look at this, and this does not make me want to watch a Women's Royal Rumble. This makes me want to turn the TV off. 6 absolute fucking freak show jobber bastards in this match. None of these people will be stars. None of these people will amount to anything. In a year, I mean, yeah, I would say there's a good chance at least one of these people will be released in the next year. Honestly, I don't know how Tamina Snuka's stuck around so long. I'm beginning to think it's because of her name and they think she's got some sort of value because she's like second generation. But these are bums. Nikki Ash, I can't see her being around in a year's time. Honestly, don't see it. Just a terrible 6-woman tag match. Didn't need to see this at all. But finally, after this shite 6 women's tag match, we get something good. We get something great. It is the Alpha Academy's challenge to RKBRO. It's an academic challenge. It is a spelling bee. It's like Randy Orton and Riddle taking on Chad Gable and Otis in a spelling competition. So basically, each member of the team will take a turn in spelling their word. If they get it right, they get a point. If they don't, then they're wrong. Starts off with Otis. He's asked to spell some sort of cheese. I can't remember the name of the cheese, but it was some sort of cheese. And he asked the Irish guy, I think Paddy, whatever the fuck he's called, the Irish backstage announcer. He was like running this segment. He was the judge, I guess. He was the host, and he asked him, "Can you put it in a sentence?" And then he puts it in like he puts it in words, and he describes it as like, "Oh, it's a cheese. You eat it," and then Otis's eyes just light up, and straight away he manages to spell it no problemo. And it was like, what the fuck? So 1-0 to the Alpha Academy. There's Riddle's turn. His word is calibration. Riddle looks a wee bit confused and he goes, did you just say calibration? And he goes, nah, Riddle, calibration. Then Riddle asks, can you put that in a sentence for me? So then the guy puts the word into a sentence to try and give Riddle a clue, and then Riddle says, "Can you put it in words and letters for me?" Trying to get the guy to actually spell it out. And he's like, "Nah, Riddle, can't do that. We need it." And then Riddle catches on, calibration, like when I'm weighing out my scales and all this stuff. So another weak joke, which sometimes I feel they force down us, but this was actually a pretty good one. So. He goes, yeah, and then Riddle ends up spelling it. It was 1-1, he's doing good. Up next is Chad Gable. Gable's talking about how he's so smart and this and that, and that he wants a challenge. They give him delusion, and he thinks, oh, that's going to be easy. And he spells it, but it was actually not the word he thought it was, because then he thought it was delusion, but apparently it was delusioned. I don't know, but apparently the guy, Paddy, the interviewer, the host, whatever he's called, he got the pronunciation wrong. So Gable ended up spelling the word correctly, but the word that he spelled wasn't the word that was needed. It wasn't the word that was necessary. So he ends up losing. Then it's Randy Orton for a chance to win it for RKBRO. His word apparently is the most commonly misspelled word in the dictionary, dumbbell. Orton spells it correctly, D-U-M-B-B-E-L. RKBRO win the spelling bee. Gable is not impressed. He's like, dumbbell's an easy word. He says to Orton, your partner's a dumbbell. I would have preferred him to say dumbass, but dumbbell. It was funny. And then Orton kind of sticks up for Riddle and he's like, how about I challenge you to a match right now and I'll beat you with the deadliest move in WWE and I'll even spell it out for you in spelling bee fashion. RKO. Really good. This was good. Then we had a match between Orton and Gable. In the match, again, really, really good. Look, Gable looked strong in this. For a moment, I thought Gable was going to win. That's how good Gable looked in this match. Anyway, good back and forth match. Gable's got the ankle lock on. Otis is looking on. And then it's Riddle from behind. Beats up Otis with the scooter. Keeps hitting him in the back with the scooter. Takes Otis out. And then in the ring, Orton manages to roll through, send Gable into the turnbuckle to break the ankle lock. Gable turns round, hits an RKO. Now, I think the RKO's been overdone. We've seen every single RKO. To me, it's like one of the most blandest finishing moves now, just because it's been made into this huge deal and it's almost went viral and there's been memes and all that stuff made about the RKO. But this was a great RKO. I mean, Gable literally took the RKO and flipped over. I mean, it looked like he broke his neck, but he didn't break his neck because I guess he can work. So, I mean, but this was a great RKO. Great sell. And then Orton pins Gable. Gable loses. Orton gets the win. And then Riddle says, I guess since we won the next, we won the challenge, we won the academic challenge, we get to pick the next one. Riddle says, why don't they go old school? And he wants to do a gym challenge. And he says they're going to do it with a good old fashioned scooter race. And that will prove who's going to be the most physical and who's the fittest and all that. And then Gable at this time has been propped up by Otis, just kind of falls back onto his back and he's like, out. And then Otis has got this fucking look on his face like, how the hell am I supposed to ride a scooter? And that was the end of the segment. But this was great, guys. This was fucking wrestling, right? See these flips and dives on AEW? That ain't wrestling. See shitey Nikki Ash promos? That ain't wrestling. This was wrestling. Great spelling bee. Loved the academic challenge. The match between Orton and Gable was really good. And then at the end, Riddle announces the one for next week to set up next week. And Gable and Otis's reaction to them learning that they're going to be competing in a scooter race. It was great. The reactions were great. The match was great. The segment was great. Everything about this was great. And this was by far the best part of Raw, in my opinion. This was wrestling done well. And I want to give the show a high rating because of this, but unfortunately, with Raw being 3 hours, even if you get a great segment like this, the fact that it's going to be watered down and dragged down with all the other shite in the card You know, it's sad. Now, we'll find out what the rating I give it at the end, but this was great. I would definitely give this whole segment, I would give this like and I'd give this a 9 out of 10. I thought this was great. 8 or 9 out of 10. This was really, really good. Up next with Alexa Bliss, talking about her progressing back to her journey. She's on about when she said she met Lily when she was first 6 years old, said she used to get bullied because of her looks, and she says she did look kind of stupid when she was 6 because she wore glasses, and the strength guy is also wearing glasses. Wee bit awkward, I guess a wee bit funny. Then she goes on to tell about how Lily appeared and stopped people from bullying her. Lily says that you'll never see those bullies again, and then Alexa Bliss and Lily became best friends since then. I mean, not a lot here. I mean, it wasn't bad, it just wasn't that much to it, to be fair. So it is what it is. Up next with Fear's eyes are locked on the prize. They're on about Fear's a lion and he's ready to mate, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Seriously. Now, we haven't seen Fear in a while. The only time you've probably seen Fear in the last month is on the side of a milk carton. But now he's here again on Raw, showing his segments, showing his vignettes about Fear coming to Raw. And who's going to fear Fear? This guy's never fucking won a match. This guy's an absolute jobber. I mean, he was Jinder Mahal's second crony when Jinder Mahal couldn't pick up a 3 count. So, I mean, why would anyone fear Jinder? Why would anyone fear this guy? Fear. It makes zero sense. I guarantee you, they're dragging at this guy's like re-debut on Raw, coming to Raw even though he's already on Raw. I guarantee you, when he returns to Raw in less than 3 months, if he's not released, he'll be in the 24/7 title picture. This guy is going absolutely nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. Why not just fucking bin him and get Jinder Mahal and give Jinder Mahal a push again? At least Jinder Mahal was pretty over back in 2017 when he, was the champ on SmackDown. He had a pretty good feud with Randy Orton. I don't get it. Why not he's in great shape. At least he's got a bit of name value. He's been champion before. At least I can buy Jinder Mahal as a main eventer since he's already been in the main event. This Fear guy, this is a waste of time. This guy's going to do absolutely nothing. I'm not wasting any more time talking about him. Fucking garbage is ready to mate. What's he going to do? Fucking rape the entire roster? Is he going to bum everybody up the hole? Fuck Fear. I fear watching this show, guys, right? This was shit. Speaking of shit, got another Rhea Ripley promo backstage. She's congratulated on her win in the 6 women's tag match. She says that Nikki Ash is like a bad smell, and now she's left a bad smell in her mouth. And then the commentator, the host, the backstage interviewer, whatever you want to call this woman's terrible. She asks Rhea Ripley, what's your plans for the Royal Rumble? And Rhea Ripley says, wouldn't you like to know? Garbage. Rhea Ripley done this about... I'm pretty sure Rhea Ripley done this on the road to WrestleMania last year. Someone asked her a question and says, wouldn't you like to know? Of course we'd like to know. That's why you're getting asked the question, you stupid fucking idiot. Of course she wants to know. Or else she wouldn't be asking. It's so awkward because once she says that, it kind of just kills the conversation. Like, where do you go from there? And it's not like, it's not like, I'm trying to, be strategic. It's not like that. She just doesn't know what to say. So she says, wouldn't you like to know? Yeah, we would like to know. That's why you got asked, Rhea Ripley. But you don't know what to say. You're shite. So you ain't going to give an answer. So you saying, wouldn't you like to know, is the easy way out. Just absolute garbage, man. Really garbage. Cannot stand Rhea Ripley or Nikki Ash. This woman, no wonder they brought back so many. I'm not going to call them all legends because they're not legends. But no wonder they brought back so many women from the past because these current women wrestlers are absolutely shite. If they were good, you wouldn't have to bring them back. It's as simple as that, guys. If these current women wrestler generation of women were good, then you wouldn't be getting all these other people like Summer Rae or Michelle McCool back. You wouldn't. But they're not good. They're absolute shit. Up next with AJ Styles versus Austin Theory. Before this happened, though, Austin Theory was backstage for McMahon. McMahon looking absolutely ill. I just do not enjoy seeing McMahon on TV anymore. Nothing makes sense. I do not know what's going on with him. He must be injecting a lot of baby blood at the moment because he's running on fumes. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know how he's still breathing. He looks terrible. He looks fucking ill. Garza... or Austin Theory even, whatever he's called, wants asking Vince for a higher number. Vince says, what makes you think I would have any, authority in that? Why would I have any, I forget the word he used. But Vince is like, why would I be able to decide which number you get in the Royal Rumble? And then he's on about, why don't you concentrate on your opponent tonight? And that is AJ Styles. And then Theory says, first, do you mean the future Hall of Famer? And then Vince goes, first ballot Hall of Famer, AJ Styles, right? Now, I don't know why they're trying to put AJ over so much here. But let's be real, right? I think that AJ Styles will eventually, when he hangs up his boots, when he puts his gloves away, I think he will go into the WWE Hall of Fame. But to say this guy's a first ballot Hall of Famer, to suggest he's something like Hogan, Rock, Austin, Cena, absolutely not. AJ Styles, he's just not. And I like the guy, but he is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. No matter how much they want to tell us this, he is not. And if he was, he would have a much higher place in the card. He would be in the main events. He would be having title runs. But the fact is, for the past couple of years, AJ has done absolutely nothing in WWE. And if he was this big legend, if he was this big Hall of Famer that they talk about, that would not be the case, guys. I can guarantee you, he'd be in the main events. He'd be winning WWE Championships. He'd be winning Universal Championships. But he isn't. Right? And that's alright. If they don't think he's a huge star, and to be honest, he ain't, I mean, that's absolutely fine, but just a bit weird how much we were trying to hype him up here. So if AJ's like Hulk Hogan, when he's just not. Anyway, AJ versus Austin Theory, decent match. It was decent, it was alright. AJ Styles wins with a phenomenal forearm, picks up a win going into the Royal Rumble. I mean, Austin Theory's supposed to impress McMahon, but he loses a lot. And McMahon doesn't like losers, so you go figure that one out. But, well, I don't know why they're still doing this whole Austin Theory McMahon thing. And McMahon, before the match, is saying, hey, don't forget your phone and make sure they take a selfie that I'm going to like. Why would McMahon like selfies? Does McMahon look like the kind of guy that would enjoy selfies? Absolutely not. So I don't get it. Honestly, I don't get it. Next, something I don't get. We had Becky Lynch and Dewdrop. They're like in separate rooms backstage. Becky Lynch has got this really annoying thing that she does when she speaks. And I don't know if it's due to nerves or excitement or, I don't know, she panics. But every time she talks, she goes like... She's like clapping her tongue around her mouth. And it makes this really fucking weird. Now, I'm pretty sure I read before that doing that means you're nervous. It sounds like her mouth is in like the Sahara Desert and she's not had a drink for like 10 weeks and she's like, you know what, her tongue is like desperate, trying to beat its way out her mouth to try and grab some liquid, try and get this first. I don't know. It's weird. It is so fucking weird. She's not good on the mic. She's not good at cutting promos. I don't know if it's a confidence thing or a nerves thing, but she's just not good. Speaking of not good, Dewdrop is even worse. Becky Lynch says she's going to put her in her place, but this Dewdrop doesn't like this. Dewdrop gets up and leaves. Becky thinks Dewdrop can't handle the truth, but it turns out Dewdrop goes into the same room as Becky Lynch and says, "Are you going to put me in my place, are you?" And then she attacks her, and they kind of like fight into like the corner of the room, and then two refs come in and pull off Dewdrop. Two refs come in and pull Dewdrop off of Becky Lynch, and I thought, man, this was so unrealistic. To get Dewdrop out of there, you need a crane. Two refs ain't going to do it, man. You need a heavy-duty fucking crane, right? And they didn't have it. It was two wee skinny refs, and they just pulled Dewdrop off of Becky Lynch like she was nothing. Like she doesn't weigh 638 pounds. So I didn't get it, guys. I thought it was a bit weird, a bit unrealistic. They definitely should have brought a crane, and two refs would not have got the job done. But this segment, again, wasn't good. Speaking of not being good, the Street Profits versus the Mysterios. Rey Mysterio picks up the win. After the match, Dominic tries to eliminate his father and Rey counters. Dominic's shit, right? Rey can talk about, oh, he wants to have a WrestleMania moment with his son. He wants to be in a tag team with his son. Vince McMahon, or whoever's in charge, Triple H, Bruce, whoever, they need to do something. They need to get Rey Mysterio away from Dominic. Rey has maybe got 1 or 2 more years left, you know, at a high level, probably competing. Why not push Rey Mysterio? Why not give him one last singles push before he retires? Wasting him with his son. Dominic is just another David Flair. That's all he is. Absolute shit. This guy is going nowhere. Then Dawkins, or Ford eliminated Ray. Dawkins came in and eliminates Ford. The Dirty Dogs come in. They eliminate Dawkins. And then both Street Profits and Mysterios get in and eliminate the Dirty Dogs. And this has to be the worst Rumble build-up ever for the Rumble match. Not only is it full of tag teams that are crap, it's full of people that you just know ain't going to win this. And when you look at the places that have been taken, where is the star power on this Royal Rumble? It's non-existent. The main build-up for the Rumble match is between all these tag teams that you know ain't going to win. The Dirty Dogs are talking about going to WrestleMania. The Dirty Dogs are going nowhere. Dirty Dogs are going to main event. Fucking Impact Wrestling if they're lucky. Dirty Dogs ain't going to the main event of WrestleMania. Fucking no. Absolutely not. More chance of them main eventing a fucking kennel match and taking a shite on top of each other than going to WrestleMania. It's not happening. Absolutely not. Then we had a backstage promo with Seth freaking Rollins and your Irish interviewer. I hate the interviewers in WWE back in the day. Back in the day, man, used to get the Coachman, you know, Lillian Garcia. My mind's going blank. But they used to get good people like Todd Grisham. There was good backstage interviewers. Just now, there's no one. There's no one, and they ask you the most generic questions. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my guest, Seth Rollins. I mean, and then the camera pans out and Seth Rollins. I mean, what? Please welcome my guest, Kevin Owens. Ladies, WWE Universe, please welcome Nikki Ash. It's fucking so fucking shite, man. It's so shite. But Seth Rollins, actually, his verbal stuff was pretty good. This was alright. He talked about how he's got Reigns' number and that he's going to beat Reigns and that he's going to show up to SmackDown and deliver a message before the Royal Rumble, because unlike Reigns, he likes to give messages face to face. I mean, this was alright, but again, when you've got Seth Rollins on Raw and Roman Reigns ain't on Raw, it's hard to build up any sort of rivalry or feud with Roman Reigns when there's only one of the combatants in the world title matches, or the undisputed title match, is on Raw. So, I mean, it was alright, but that's all it was. Alright. And then, last but not least, we have the Miz's birthday celebrations. And this was, I mean, I knew this wasn't going to be good, and it just wasn't. I mean, it just wasn't. The Miz is giving presents away to Maurice. He talks about how much money he spent on all these presents, but then he talks about how much money he spent on security, and nothing can get through these security guys. There's about 8 security men there. Edge and Beth Phoenix come out, and they just go through the entire security. How the hell can a 50-year-old Edge and a boring woman that was never any good, and it was a vacuum charisma, should I say, sorry, and had to be teamed with Santino Marella to get over, because she was not getting over on herself. How can these two take out 8 security guards that The Miz supposedly paid big money for? And then you've got Beth Phoenix beating up men. It just looks so fake, so unrealistic. I mean, what kind of security is this? Are we really supposed to believe that security are this shit? I mean, I can buy it when security are trying to get Austin, he's beating up, or Austin's beating the police up, or something. But when it's a woman beating up about 4 different security men at the same time, it's like, come on. Unless that woman's Ronda Rousey, you can almost kind of buy it. But even with Ronda Rousey, it's unrealistic. I didn't like it at the time when they had Ronda Rousey destroy security, and I like it even less when it's Beth Phoenix. Edge powerbombs a guy through the cake, security through the cake. They do a bunch of double team moves. I think they did a heart attack, and they did a 3D. Edge and Beth Phoenix, and then Maurice and The Miz go up the ramp, and that ends Raw, guys. So a really bad ending here. I knew this was not going to be good, this birthday celebration, and it wasn't. And I'm not looking forward to the mixed tag match. For me, I would have just had both in the Rumble. Why not have Maurice in the Rumble, not Beth in the Rumble? And you can do their spot in the Rumble. You know, I don't think we need to waste a match on this. This Rumble is incredibly weak. Having Edge and The Miz would help it a lot, but they don't do that. They've got them in a match. And yeah, the Royal Rumble, guys, looking absolutely fucking terrible. But as for this show, there were some okay wrestling matches. I'm not going to mark it over AJ Styles Theory or Priest Kevin Owens, but they were alright matches. I liked the opening. I liked the opening a lot. Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley. I'm just annoyed that there wasn't more of it. And I thought the whole Alpha Academic Challenge. So, guys, I'm fucking wrecked here. I'm falling asleep here. I apologise. I am falling asleep. The Alpha Academic Challenge. The match between Gable and Orton, and then at the end, post-match with Riddle announcing next week's challenge and the reaction from Gable and Otis. I thought that was great, man. That was the best part of the show by far. But unfortunately, the stuff that I liked was dragged down by stuff that I did not like on the show. And again, a lot of it was 3 hours of absolute shit. I am going to rate this Raw a 4 out of 10. And I feel like that's being harsh because, like I said, I did like the opening and I loved everything with RKBRO and the Alpha Academy. But the rest of the show, guys, wasn't great. We had a couple of decent matches, but apart from that, it was another really, really bad Raw to watch. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. And again, it's like I mentioned, it's just going to be hard to rate this show much higher than a 4 out of 10 because you're always going to get like an hour and a half, 2 hours of shit. So even if you do have like an hour of decent stuff, it's getting dragged down big time. So that's my rating, guys, a 4 out of 10. Let us know what you thought down below. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And we'll be back for the SmackDown review, and then it is Royal Rumble time, guys. Looking forward to Bobby Lashley versus Brock. Looking forward to Reigns versus Rollins. Potentially looking forward to Lita winning the Women's Royal Rumble. But apart from that, guys, not looking forward to fucking anything else. That is it for Fog Wrestling. Till next time, peace.